and I'm Giacomo Cervi. I'm from Italy, and today we are going to spend some time together. So we're going to see like what I did and what I'm doing now. And we are also going to talk a little bit about the importance of having like a good portfolio and how it can really help to boost your career and your journey. And we are also talking about like Flow Studio and how I use it to showcase some of the works that I did in my portfolio and how I collaborate with the team. I see some like familiar faces in the comment section. Hi, Pascal. And yeah, so without wasting time, I would like to show you a presentation that I prepared for the occasion. Let's see. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen, but you should be able to see it. Okay, so okay. So what we are going to see today is how to build a standout portfolio in the age of AI. First of all, I know it's a little bit of presentation, but I'll try. I hope you like it. And so who I am, my name is Giacomo Cervi. I'm from Italy, and actually I'm Italo-Australian. And at the moment, I'm working as a freelance 3D artist, and I'm currently living in and working in Milan. And yeah, well, I started my journey in 2022, so I still consider myself like a rookie in some way. And I had the pleasure to win the MeetMat contest into 2023. And after that, I also had the chance to, I've been called by Adobe to be a judge on the 2024 edition. It's been a blast, an absolute pleasure. So I'm really, really happy about that. And we are going to see, for example, this project a little bit like in the and the breakdown of it like later. And after that, this year, I also had the pleasure to win the Ghost VFX section of the Rookie Awards. Thanks to this project, my latest project, that is the Native American. And we are going to see it later too. So these are just two of the main render that I did for the project. And so how, well, what's like my steps into the industry so far? Well, before starting my journey in the 3D field, actually, I was doing something else. I was a science teacher, and I have a bachelor degree in natural sciences. But as I said, in 2022, I started my journey in 3D with my master at Big Rock, the master in computer graphics. And it was the beginning of a beautiful journey. It's a 6-month master. And after that, I stayed there other 6 months as part of the R&D, research and development team. And after that, they hired me basically as a teacher and to be part of the IE department. So that was the period where I get in touch with Wonder Dynamics. And after that, so it was basically last year, I moved to Milan to first, I worked as a 3D generalist at EDI, Effetti Digitali Italiani, that is one of the biggest VFX studios that we have here in Italy. And I had the pleasure and the chance to work on international movies, and I can't say the name of them due to NDA, but I hope they will get out like soon. And it was like short-term contract of like 5 months. And after that, I started my journey as a freelance, and I'm working now at Gate One Studio, where I'm working as a motion graphic artist. So it's more cinema 4D and a lot of After Effects. So it's a little bit different as type of work. And in the meantime, I also had the chance last month, and this is like completely new, unused, because I didn't say it like basically to anyone, but I've been contacted by basically a studio that is working with THQ Nordic, and I had the chance to work with them as a freelance character artist. So this one was a really, really great experience. Well, my journey at Big Rock. This is the place. It's a really beautiful place in the nowhere, in the middle of the nowhere here in Italy, near Venice. And it's been a really amazing experience. And as you can imagine, I was coming from something else. I was no expert at all in the 3D. Actually, I was pretty good at drawing in 2D, like with Procreate, with graphite, and things like that. But I was like totally noob with everything that was like 3D. So my first week has been like quite quite tricky, but after that we like the teamwork and like the good environment, it really went well. And this is like some photos of like the facility, and like this one is the team from the students from the last master, and they moved also to another structure that is nearby, but is even better. It's really cool, and it has been like a really great experience. So an advice that I would like to give you is that if you have the chance to go to a school to study and you're not sure, and you're like, okay, but I can learn it like on internet by myself. Trust me that doing it like with other people all together is like you get another level of knowledge at the end. So it's a really good experience to start, and I condensed it like 2 years of knowledge in just 6 months, basically. So after that, as I said, I moved to Milan, and there I worked as a 3D generalist at AD. Unfortunately, as I said, I don't have much material that I can show you due to NDA. But like one of the latest work that I did came out now, like 2 weeks ago on the Italian television. It was for Sandokan, the TV series, and the first episode was like one of the most viewed in the story of the Italian television. So it really went well. And at the moment, as I said, unfortunately, I don't have material also from the THQ Nordic work that I did due to NDA, but I can show you some of the work that I did as a freelance 3D artist at Gate One. As you can see, we did a lot of different things, from like sport events. We did the Asian Olympic Winter Games from this year. We did a lot of concerts and music events, like we did Tiziano Ferro, Vasco Rossi, a lot of Italians, great artists. We did Eurovision, but we also had like more technical stuff like Hires, Nam, Ringo, and so on. So yeah, it's also, this one is a really generalist type of job where you have to do like everything from start to finish. And it really teach me a lot on how to handle like a full pipeline, and not only like doing modeling or texturing, but like to handle everything from start to finish. And this is a photo from one of our latest trip in the Emirates. I'm not a huge fan of football, but the one in the middle is Benzema. I don't know if you know him. We did like all the graphics for the stadium and the final of the King's Cup. And the other one is my boss. So my step into the industry so far. Well, basically, okay. So how do you get into the industry? Because this is the question that I think a lot of you is like asking. So how can I like move from like studying to, I don't know, something like concrete and real to get a real job? Well, I think that you have to consider a few different things, and these are some of the things that I would like to like say to my younger self, like 1 year ago, when I was like getting my like portfolio ready for my first applications. Well, first of all, is that your portfolio is not shouldn't be like just a gallery, but it's more like a tool, and you don't have to like impress yourself, but you have to basically answer the questions that studios are searching for. So you should like showcase what you're able to do, but not just like the wow effect of the last renders. And this is something that usually you get when you, I don't know, you get like inside of ArtStation, for example. You see the first page and you see all these beautiful renders, and you're like, oh my God, I will never be so good. But in the end, if you go in, maybe they are not showcasing anything, just like a picture of like, I don't know, there is no breakdown behind it. So you need really to focus on work that looks like you could like ship in a real environment, because no one, if you need to do a character from the beginning to the end, no one just need the high poly, for example. You need to be able to do also the low poly, the texture, the UVs. So there are a lot of steps, and you need to be able to show all of them in a polished and good way. And try to keep the scope small enough to finish a project. So once polished projects usually beats a dozen abandoned ideas. And this is an example that I can personally tell you. With like the last work that I did as a character artist for THQ, they contacted me on ArtStation, and they were interested just because they saw my latest work, the Native American. And from there, we started our collaboration. So just one really well done project, it was enough to convince them. Of course, through the process, so like clean models, UVs, breakdowns, everything, it's really, really important. And try to, as I said, don't just focus on, for example, ArtStation highlights, but try to find like examples of works that you want to do and try to replicate them. Basically, also the breakdowns and everything, you can take inspiration from different projects and create your own personal mood. And try to show also that you're able to make decisions that reduce the doubt from the recruiter. So, for example, can you work in a team? Can you follow certain constraints? Can you deliver like consistently? Of course, if you are like a junior, if you're just starting out, the recruiters know that they are aware of that, and showing that you're able to deliver a really high level work, being a junior, it's really some good points for you. So these are some rules that I will try to follow in the future while I'm working on my next piece of the portfolio. And basically, there are also some like do's and don'ts that studios are actually looking for. And they are connected with what we just said. For example, try to show logical workflows that are used in the industry. And this is something that I found myself, for example, guilty with the Native American, but it's something that I also explain it in the process. For example, for the character that I showed you before, I started from a simple sphere, all the sculpting. But this is something that, like in the industry, no one is going to do. Like if you have to ship a character, but if you explain that, okay, I started from a sphere because I wanted to like train my sculpting skill, but after that I try to follow all the standard workflow of the industry, it can be like a plus. And try to present, of course, your work with clarity and to make it clean, and also demonstrate taste. So don't like put out random ideas with try to like create a story behind it and like to show intentional choices. And this is something that nowadays is probably maybe not the most important thing, but it's really, really important to be able to show that you have like also have creativity and you're not just copying what you see on the internet, for example. And as I say, yeah, only your best work and your most relevant pieces. If something is, I know it's not true, but if something is not convincing you in the first place, think twice about like putting it in your portfolio. Of course, on the other side, it's normal that, especially in the beginning, when you see like you finish your work, you're like, okay, I'm not sure 100% if it's the best piece that I have. Try also not to be too hard on yourself, and you always have time to replace it later. So yeah, try to keep your portfolio updated, of course. And things that you shouldn't do is like to fill your portfolio with like whips or unfinished ideas. It's okay to have like some minor pieces at the end, maybe in a show reel. If you are like, I don't know, I do the example as a character artist, that is what I like and what I do, but you can translate them to all the aspects like texturing, animation, rigging, environment art. It's the same for most of the different types of like showreel and portfolio. Try to show at first your best piece and most complete. Then you can have, for example, I don't know, only the high poly of a piece. You don't have the low poly and the UVs, but if the high poly is really well done, you can show it too. Okay, but try to do it, as I said, with like clean presentation, and don't rely only on like cinematic renders to hide the technical weaknesses, because like recruiters and studio know that. And don't overscoop like projects, because like ambition is really good, but it's better to have something done like something like smaller but done very well. For example, if you are planning to do a full, I don't know, an environment, don't start to do like a room full of little things and try to model everything. Start from example, from one single model, present it very, very well, and after that go on with all the other models, and maybe at the end you can put them all together to have like a full room or a full environment. So try to have, as I said before, a logical workflow, and don't include anything that you need to explain or excuse. And I think this one is really really important, because as I said, if something is not like convincing you, it won't surely convince like the recruiter. And yeah, so this is basically okay. This is for later, but this is basically what I would like, what I uh, would like to say to you about like how to set up a portfolio. And now I would like to show you some example of the works that I did, and also the works of like friends and colleagues that I think are really well done and really well presented, and they would fit great in a portfolio for a junior. So I'm not seeing the screen, so I don't know if there are questions or okay, that's great. So well, I would like to start with my latest project. That is the okay, what I've done. Okay, so that is the Native American, and this was like probably the biggest project that I ever done. It took me a lot of time, but I'm really happy on how it came out. It was like a huge, big lesson for me, because I was used to like sculpting, but like translating art to like the final render in Arnold with like all the shading, the texture. It's been quite a challenge, but I really like the outcome. So I try to present it in the best way possible and to showcase the subject like from all the angles and like all the details. For example, you can see like with the headdress and without. So to, for example, see all the details like the veins coming like side from the eyes. I try to really push the realism with this one. And the workflow, it's been like the standard workflow of like the VFX pipeline. So I sculpt everything by hand. And after that, I took some maps from texturing XYZ, and I applied them to the model in order to mix them with my sculpted details. And after that, I moved to substance and to create all the skin textures. Mixed, of course, with the texture map that came with the texturing XYZ file. And one of the hardest steps for me that I wasn't used to was the creation of the realistic skin shader in Arnold. And it took me a while to figure out like the right amount of subsurface capturing and also the right amount of displacement to get like the most realistic feeling possible out of it. And everything you see, also like the eyes and the iris, are sculpted and created from scratch by from zero. And yeah, everything you see, like all the ports, they came from the texturing XYZ maps and mixed with what I did by hand. And here you can see like the black and white version without the texturing. And this is what was looking like in ZBrush. So the displacement that I took out from ZBrush. And I try to, as I said before, I try to give like an artistic direction to this piece and to present like a really old man that is like almost warlord, but not warlord, but like the head of the tribe, and is like in his eyes you can see that he's really experienced. And I try to present like a really old guy with a lot of stories behind him. Yeah, and so the main steps, as I said, was like sculpting, texturing, shading. I also did the XGen part, so that was like a new thing for me. So also in this case, I tried to like to do like all the baby hair, also the peach fuzz. I try to know the hair in the nose, also in the inside of the ears, and I try to really push the realism as much as I could, but keeping it as simple as possible without like overcomplicating myself with strange workflows. And yeah, this is something that usually you will find yourself doing like in this kind of situation in a real workflow. Yeah, and model like also the jewelry, the face paint, the dress. And from there, what I did from the beginning is I tried to set up like a render setting from the beginning in order to be able to do a lot of iteration to see how all the materials were coming out, and being able to realize if I was going in the right direction. And this is something that saved me a lot of time. And yeah, this is, for example, a set that I took from Cave Academy, where I put my models in. And at the end, for the rendering, I also studied. It took me, I think, 1 month to try out all the different layouts for the lights, for the environment, for the lighting. And at the end, I used the most simple set. There was just one light, the limbo, and the HDRI, and it got me out the most realistic result, basically. And yeah, I try to present it like in the best way possible, to show like all the little details, and to to show all the work that I did. Of course, like here on ArtStation, you really can't, I mean, you can like write some notes, but you can't really explain how you worked them. So if you want to add something and add also a written presentation to your to the breakdown, you can do it, and it's something that the studios and the recruiters usually loved. And for example, what I did in this case, I did the breakdown, not here. I did the breakdown for the 80 level article. And here, just to show you, I wrote down everything I'm telling you, like by voice now. So you can see like, where do I started? I started from a big pure ref with all my references, like ears, mouth, nose, feathers, different photos. So it's really a huge breakdown. Here, skin, eyes, everything, like CG renders, real photos. So I tried to gather as much reference as I could. And here I break down like all the modeling. So yes. Here, for example, you can see the sculpt of the iris and the geometry behind it. There's some like breakdown. So as it started with like also the texture in XYZ HDRI. But like, as I said before, I try to set up like from the beginning our render setting to be able to see if the direction was the right one. Here you can see like I also created some like custom brushes for ZBrush in order to be able to cover bigger areas with one single stroke. And yeah, here is a breakdown of all the steps that I did. And I think that if I have to showcase a work like this to some recruiters on some studios, I will try to put in something like, I don't know, a file where I write down all the breakdown in this way. Because as I said before, this is more like showcase, like a wow effect. And this is more like a technical breakdown that can be like, if someone is reading this, they are like, okay, he knows what he's doing, and you can exactly show what you did. I mean, I can take this, I can also take these images and bring them into my ArtStation post, for example, because I think ArtStation is a really good place to use it as basically as a showreel of your works. But if you want to do it like separated, I think it's even better. And so yeah, this is the breakdown of like, as I said before, like this is the light set. And the other big project that I would like to show you is the camera Meetmat. Here we are on the Rookie website. I know that there were also the finalists and the winners of the actual contest today. So yeah, also in this case, what I did, I tried to showcase it in the best way possible. Here there were some limitations because everything should, you need to stay inside of the Substance programs. So everything you see was done inside Substance Painter. Also the renders are from Substance Painters. And also in this case, I try to showcase it in the best way possible with like close-ups and showcasing all the details and all the displacement work. Because if maybe you don't know the contest and the rules, but the main rule is that everything you do must be done without modifying the geometry. So everything you see is like done only with displacement inside the program itself. So here is like my pure wrap for the occasion. And here is all the alphas that I used and I created to bring home the work. And here is an example of how the displacement is working with like all the layers. And this, I think, also like a great tool that the Rookie website is another great website to use as a showcase of your work. They're giving you the chance to see like these transitions that are really, really good for breakdowns. Yeah, so starting from like the Meetmat, the shape, I try to create everything you see here. Also in this case, I try to break down everything the best way possible to show that the work that I did was legit. I was not cheating. And at the end, since I was the winner, I had to send the file to the Rookies team, so there was no chance of cheating in that case. And yeah, more renders. And yeah, at the end, this breakdown and the work that I did gathered me the first place. So I'm really happy about that. And yes, in this work, also with the Native American that we saw before, they basically give me the chance to start to working as a character artist for THQ Nordic, as I said before. So you can see that, as I said before, two very well done and very well presented projects are enough to land like a job in this case. And I would like also to show you, I hope I'm not going too long, but I would like also to show you the showreel and the portfolio of one of my friends, a great friend of mine, that is Matteo Federici. is really he's presenting himself like a 3D generalist, and I think he really did a great job with the showreel. And I think it's really important to understand that you need to know what you're looking for. For example, if I know that this project is really good for like a character showreel or portfolio, but if I'm looking something like this is the studio that I'm working with, and as I said, we are doing a lot of motion graphics. If I'm searching a job in this kind of um, um, environment, and don't think that this one is going to be like my best work. In this case, I need to show something else, something that is more in line with what they're searching for in this case. So be sure also to understand what you're looking for and what you're searching. So because otherwise maybe your best work can get wasted just because it's not like the right fit. In this case, for example, I think that what Matteo is showing here as a 3D generalist is a great fit in an environment like this one. And I would like to show you the showreel. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so I think that this one is a really great example of a very well done showreel. And he was afraid that there were not enough pieces, like just two works. But as I said, if you present them very well, like in this case, we like all the presentation, like showing them not only like the modeling skill, the texturing, but also the motion graphic as a generalist skill set that he has. Um, I think that two works are more than enough. And you can see like all the breakdowns, and you have like the main project, and after that like the second one that is a little bit like shorter, but even in this case is really well presented. So it's not just throwing like images there one after the other just to give like trying to give like your works a real dimension. So I think that this one is a really great example that show you what like junior showreel can be. And for example, I show this work to many friends that I know that are searching for a junior showreel for a junior 3D generalist, and I'm more than happy to help like friends like Matteo to reach out to studios, because I know that he is able to do a great job so I'm willing to help him in finding out like a job, basically. And yeah, one last advice that I would like to give you is that try to present, as you can see, like everything in a clear way, and don't be afraid to share your work once you have it, like on all the platforms that you can. A must is LinkedIn. You need to have it. This is the best social platform to share all your works and to like engage also with the community. And once, as I said, for example, if I take this one, I published it on ArtStation, but also on the Rookie website. Here we go. And yeah, as I said, I was like the Rookie Awards winner for visual effects for Ghost VFX Copenhagen. And after that, I published also on my social channels. So, for example, Facebook groups is a big deal. It's full of really active groups. You have Instagram, of course, but try to also be specific. For example, in this case, I know that I used the Cave Academy and the Texturing XYZ materials. So when I post, for example, the work on LinkedIn, I try to reach out to them, and they were super happy to see the work and to share it. So the community in this world is absolutely amazing, and they're willing to help you like as much as they can. So with this, I'm going to close with the this part of the presentation, and I will go back to my PowerPoint to talk a little bit about how I discovered Flow Studio and how I use it on my showreel to present my work. Well, basically, during my time at Big Rock, yes, this is me, and these were my colleagues during the research and development time. We were 4 of us, and we were basically in charge of experimenting with like new technologies, both AI and non. And basically, the aim was to implement them into the upcoming Masters of CG, Art, and Video Games. And during this time, we found Flow Studio from Wonder Dynamics. I have a video here. It's 2-minute video, but we don't have the audio. So it's a little bit strange without the audio, but it's just the video from their website. And you will find the link at the end of the presentation. If you want, I will share them with you. But it's a brief introduction of what Flow Studio does. But we will see it together now. Basically, Flow Studio, it's a software that allows you to turn real-world footage into fully editable CG scenes without needing any complex setups. So I was able basically to do the work that usually requires like a motion tracksuit, just recording myself basically. And it generates all the elements that I need. So the mocap data, the camera trackings, all the masks, like everything that like you can use, and you can then take everything and go straight into like Maya, Blender, Unreal, and work on this different scenes. And it's also cloud-based, so you can shut down your computer and keep going on like the processing. And basically, it allows you to animate and composite like CG characters directly into a live action shot. So as I said, at Big Rock, we did a little bit of everything from like modeling, texturing, sculpting, animation, rigging. You study the whole pipeline. And animation for me was like something that I loved, but I don't consider myself like an animator, especially when it's about like realistic animation. So I found in this tool something that could help me bring like some idea to life without like going mad or buying a, a motion tracksuit. And we basically had the chance to collaborate with Wonder Dynamics, and it came out like an amazing project that we brought to also the students at the master. And just a quick overview of like what the program itself look. It's you can you have like a simple interface. You can create your own projects. For example, usually what I use is the live action advanced feature. You drop inside of it like your footage. You can also edit it. You can basically scan the footage in search for actors. And then you can take the characters that you have on the right here and drop them on top of your actors that have been scanned. And you can see here down here like the different steps in the timeline when we did the scan. And after that, it's simple. You basically just export and choose what to export to work on it later. For example, in this case, you can choose like the Maya scene, but you can also choose to work on it on Blender, Unreal to export the USD. It's really, really simple. And once you're done, you have basically your 3D character that replaced the actor in the scene and is doing the exactly same motion. And you can choose here what you can also directly export the video, or you can choose, for example, to export the scene with all the 3D elements inside of it and work it like to get like an even better result. For example, in this case, we choose to export the Maya scene because there was a problem with the fingers, because with the tracking of the motion of the fingers. So what I could do is just to fix them, to move the arms apart, creating like also animation layers, for example. And you have a complete rig that you can move as you want. And you can see like the comparison from the beginning, like the vanilla result straight out of the program. And retouching it, you can like obtain a really good animation, a really good pose that you can use for your animation. And this is, for example, one of the projects that we did, and I was the actor behind the robots. So basically, we gave the program to the students, and they were in charge of doing and trying to get out with like funny ideas. And there was this one that was really, really funny, that is like um, what if there was like a student in Big Rock, there was a robot? So we did like different spots with this robot inside our school. So it's okay. Or for example, this one. Or this one. So these were just simple projects and short movies that the students were doing um, inside like the CG program with Wonder Studio. And after that, I tried to tackle a more complex shot. And this is a project that I did all by myself in less than 2 weeks. Using Wonder Dynamics, using Flow Studio from Wonder Dynamics. And here you can see how like the whole animation, of course, there was a lot of like fixing, retouching, but the whole animation came out basically from the program itself. Okay, so as I said, this is something that I did all by myself, and if I have to think about doing it all by hand or like animating it like uh, frame by frame or with a traditional technique, it's something that for me, since I don't consider myself an animator, is not doable. So I think that this is really a showcase of like how in this case this tool that is Flow Studio really helped me to bring out an idea of, in this case, of like this robot playing basketball, and help me like shape the vision. Of course, what you see like here is a little breakdown. What you see is like the first real footage, the work done by the software that removed the actor and replaced it with the robot. And what I did was like creating like custom textures and simulation of clothes with Marvelous Designer. And on top of that, I rotoscoped out the ball from the whole shot, and it was really, really long because I don't consider myself a compositor too. But at the end, it came out, I think, pretty well. So you see like all the steps with the ball. This was like a first iteration of clothes. And at the end, you have like the final result, but you see how much work there is behind it. So this is why I think that Flow Studio it's a wonderful tool, because you can use it to obtain a result, but is not giving you like that result by himself. You need to spend some time on it. So yes, this is okay. This is the end. In fact, I would like to, since we are talking about AI in this case, I would like to do a little bit of a short reflection, ethical reflection of like the work that we did and I did with Flow Studio in Big Rock. and it's not a black box. And what I mean is that it's not something that you press a button and you hope for the best result, but it's actually a tool that you can use at your advantage to get out like an idea. For example, in this case, the basketball shot, I wouldn't be able to showcase it by myself since I'm not an animator. It gives me the chance to express myself also in that field. Of course, given the right amount of work. I spent, as I said, almost 2 weeks on this single shot. So there was a lot of things to fix and correct, but Flow Studio was the base foundation for the rest of the work. And I showed you these last projects, because, for example, this one is a project that I show for the motion graphic position that I am working now, because it was more, as I said, you have to have in mind what you are looking for and what you're aiming for. So this was a great example of like a full pipeline, more close to the motion graphic one that I'm working with now. And this was like a great piece of portfolio that had me get the job that I am basically doing at the moment. So yeah, with this one, I finished, and I hope you like it. And now, if you have any question, I'm here for you.